Welcome again to the MUTV group chat. Hope you're well. Hope you're bearing up. This is our new daily show on the Manchester United app as we try and guide you through lockdown in this period where there is no football, and hopefully it will be back very soon. Delighted to say, joined by Ben Thornley, Danny Webber, and David May. Wes is, if anybody's seen Wes, where is he? Where is he, lads? You professionals have turned up. Where's Wes?
No idea.
I'm looking for a flare. I've looked out the window for a flare and I've not seen one. I don't know where he is.
There you go. Anyway, so that's a fine after one programme for Wes. He might pop up at some point. That is the joy of trying to present in these circumstances. Guys, looking at what's happened in the sort of news-wise, football news-wise over the last 24 hours or so, Marcus Rashford coming out and saying that he's had the scan and that he's officially now stepping up his recovery, which is obviously great news. Hopefully, when the season does eventually restart, he'll be fit and firing, which could be fantastic for United if the season continues.
Massive.
Yeah. Good to have him back. Great to have him back. I think when you have injuries like that, you don't know how long you're going to be, and great to have him back. Obviously, we don't know about when he's going to be playing again, but the main thing is for him and for Manchester United that he's fit and he's raring to go whenever need be.
Because when it ended for him, he was on 19 goals. That was mid-January. He was obviously going to go beyond 20 and have the season of his life in many ways. So it could turn out that he still has a serious role, guys, to play in United season whenever it starts or restarts.
Yeah, like you say, Stu, there's a lot of we're waiting on the outcome. But if the season kicks off, and he's back, there's no doubt he'll smash through the 20 barrier. For me, it was interesting pre-season in Australia. Someone mentioned to him about hitting 20 goals in a press conference, and he just said, "Well, I've grown up at Man United. I don't see myself as an out-and-out striker." It was in a comparison to Harry Kane, but that said, he's now found his feet. He's scoring goals from all over the place, and it'd be great to see him playing with Bruno in the team and everybody firing on all cylinders as they have been just before, obviously, the break.
But you're a striker, Dan. What's the difference this season? Because he's become prolific. He wasn't prolific before. He's got more than he's ever scored. What is the difference? Because he's not been playing as a centre forward in a lot of those games. Anthony Martial has been the guy playing through the middle. So what's happened this season?
He's got the freedom. The freedom. He's not. As when you play like that, you need the freedom to be able to pull out on the wing if you need to find space. His shooting's become a lot more consistent. He's hitting the target. He's got the wobbler, like the free kick that he scored against Chelsea, and then he's getting the scrappy goals as well. So I just think altogether your confidence grows when you score goals, when you hit the target, and it becomes repetition. And he's I think he's part of his progression anyway. He's a focused lad. He always has worked at his craft. Even before he got in the first team, he'd be out there, after everybody when he was a youth team player. So he's working at his craft, and it's coming to fruition. And again, I mentioned it yesterday, but humility. He's one of the people at the forefront when you think of the humility and working at your craft, and he'll continue in the same vein, I've no doubt.
I think that for me, with Marcus, I was waxing lyrical about him before he got his injury. Following up on what Danny's just been saying there, I think the way that sometimes he plays is reminiscent to the way we used to see Thierry Henry, who's arguably the best striker that the Premier League's ever seen, where he pulls onto one side more often than not the left. I think another reason for the season that he's having is because he's had to really take on the responsibility, even though he's still, and we forget that he's only a young lad. He has taken the mantle of the responsibility of the front line unbelievably well, and it's improved his performances. And it obviously is a crying shame that's what's happened to him. But from a personal point of view, he's probably going to be thinking, well, it was always going to be touch and go for me with Man United this season, and also for the Euros, because he's going to be a key part of the England setup for years to come. There's no doubt. And now with obviously the Euros being shifted, that isn't going to be an issue for him, providing obviously he's not injured next year. But to have him back for the remainder of the season, when and if it gets resumed, is going to be a huge plus. And again, on what Danny said, which was what I was going to say from the start, was that it will be brilliant to see him playing with such a clever player like Bruno Fernandes is.
Yeah. What do you think about how his development outside the game as well? I mean, we saw this week that he's raised a huge amount of money for kids who are eligible for free school meals, but obviously can't get them because schools are closed. Raised a lot of money with that. He has his say on a lot of other issues. I mean, he is a young lad, but guys, he seems to be developing not just as a footballer, but off the field as well as quite a role model, I reckon.
I think yeah.
Go on, mate. Sorry.
If anything, you have to have good, as Danny said there, have good people around you, have good ethics in your life, and also he's in a position that he can use his fame and his stature playing for Manchester United to great causes. Juan Mata does it as well. I'm sure there's quite a few of the lads who do a lot of stuff. Michael Carrick with his foundation. I think when you're in these times, a lot of people look up to you as role models, and Marcus certainly is a role model for the kids coming through. And what he's done is absolutely fantastic, and he deserves a real good pat on the back for what he's done. Along with you listen about Gaz and Giggsy doing the things what they've done with the hotel as well. It's probably nothing to them, but to everybody else, it's massive. And fair credit to them. They've done absolutely fantastic doing what they've done.
And it'll be remembered for a long time, Maisie.
Absolutely, Ben. Yeah. And they don't do it for their own egos, because they don't need to. They're just top lads who can use whatever they've got. They're the way they look at life, and they look at it the right way, as everyone else should.
Also, talking about strikers, did your antennae twitch when we saw Harry Kane give an interview where he suggested he opened the door to leaving Spurs, saying that he loves Spurs, but he won't stay around forever if they're not winning things or not challenging? There has been, just speculation about him, possibly leaving, maybe coming to United. I mean, did you see that interview and did you think, maybe?
Do you know something we don't know, Stu?
I wish I knew anything you don't know, but is it a possibility? If he wants to, he said it. He didn't need to say it. He said it.
Go on, Danny.
I'll be honest. I mean, I look at the crop we've got at the moment, and I think Harry Kane's a top. I think he's top. I really do. He's a specialist in his position. There's a couple of things I think. One, he's probably thinking under the current regime at Tottenham, is he going to flourish? As a striker, get as many kids. Pochettino's football is different to Mourinho's. Pochettino played free-flowing, attacking football, and Jose isn't doing that at this moment in time. But then I look at who we've got at this moment in time, and I look at Marcus, as we've just spoken about. How does it alter how we play Marcus if we did go ahead and do that? Same with Martial. Mason's getting game time and he's developing as well. So I just think, don't get me wrong, he's a top player and would fit in, but it's whether he complements what we're doing at this moment in time. You'd have to seriously weigh that up because of the amount of money you're going to spend, and would that money be best spent elsewhere on like a Sancho or somebody like that?
For me,
Sancho has been also constantly linked with United. I mean, Ben, you're a winger. I mean, Sancho, you can see him fitting the bill, can't you?
Definitely, yeah. And I know that we had a discussion about this the other day, and although it's not always easy to switch on and watch games in Germany, but when I've seen him play for Dortmund in Europe, and when I've seen him play for England, I've always wondered how he would fit the bill at Manchester United. And having watched him, I can see that he would be a real acquisition. He's young, he's hungry, and he can play in a number of positions, both out wide and as a number 10. And I know we've got Fernandes there, but if you've got an option to have somebody like Sancho in your setup, I don't understand why you would ever ignore it. I think he's a real hot prospect.
Who are you texting, Maisie? That is rude. We're having a serious.
I'm texting
Sancho.
I'm texting our next guest.
Oh yeah. Oh good.
Fella. See?
Good.
See?
No, well done.
Always working, Stu.
Always thinking.
Crafting.
Always thinking.
Always thinking. Come and see you, Dad.
No. Yesterday, we were talking obviously about whether the season should end or whether they should cancel it or we should play it out, whatever. Now, a lot of you, maybe sometimes it's a mistake to look under the line at the comments on YouTube at that after our program went out yesterday on YouTube. But I'm going to read a few of these comments out just to see what you guys think. I mean, obviously, a lot of people picked up on the fact that Liverpool obviously wouldn't win the title if they just voided the season. This one, just imagine Liverpool not winning the league because of this. This would be the greatest footballing moment in recent memory for me. I would take another season in the Europa, no problem. And that one is also happy to void the season and miss out on Champions League so long as Liverpool don't win the title. In fact, that would feel like we won it. And this one as well, the fact Liverpool still won't have won a Premier League is the only upside from this virus. So people, I know there are a lot of those tongue-in-cheek, but I think people are willing to accept another season not in the Champions League just so Liverpool wouldn't win it. Would you go that far?
Yeah.
Could you imagine the songs on the terraces? They'd absolutely annihilate.
The songs would be unbelievable.
It'd be brilliant. Oh.
I think first and foremost, Stu, everyone's got to be fit and healthy. You know, and we said it yesterday. I know the lads are thinking about having the football back, but listen, the health of everybody is more important than it. Football's a back step. So if that means Liverpool missing out, so be it.
Yeah. that laugh says it all. This one as well. This was a bit harsh. This one says you build this program as legends. Legends seems a bit of a missell, which I think is critical of you boys. I think that's harsh. This one as well. How boring is this cast when the whole United squad are at home doing nothing? Disappointing. Can you believe that? They're brutal. Brutal on YouTube. And this also one saying Danny looks like Roy Jones Jr. in his old age.
In whose old age, Roy's or mine?
Well, I don't know. I don't think that's a bad. I mean, is that bad? You look like it today with the hat on as well.
With the training attire. Yeah, listen, It rolls off my back, Stuart. It's all right. Don't worry about it.
Hey, if they don't like it, they don't have to watch it.
Hey, Danny, you could always challenge whoever it was.
Yeah.
We could have a little tear up. I'll have a tear up.
Have a little
Prove you can hit like him.
Yeah.
Let's have a little tear up, 3 rounds.
So we always welcome your comments, honestly, below the line on YouTube or on Facebook or wherever this show goes out. So we'll have a bit of fun with your comments. Have a go at Maisie. We don't mind that. Also, what I wanted to chat. What I wanted to chat about, Maisie, you were involved in the latest Manchester United podcast. That's just
hold on, Stu. Ben, what did you say, Ben?
I was saying to Stu, get the people on here who've made the negative comments. That'll be fun.
Let's do that. That's a very good point. Well, maybe we'll get 1 or 2 of you on here so you can criticise our.
Well said, Tiny.
Yeah. Just talking about the latest United podcast out, Norman Whiteside. You were obviously involved in that, Maisie. Great debate. The funniest debate was about who's your hardest Manchester United teammate. Now, so let's go. You got some good options there. So your hardest United teammate. Let's start with you, Maisie. Shall we?
Hardest. I'd probably say Butty.
Really? Not Roy?
No. I think Butty'd have Keane all day.
Really?
Yeah. I'd have Butty.
I agree with Maisie. He'd be mine as well.
How come? Come on, let's expand.
Well, I played with him as a kid as well. Don't forget. So I had the opportunity of playing alongside him and against him when I was growing up, and it was always a really good battle between us. But he was nothing seemed to faze him. He never backed out of anything. He never rolled around on the floor. He got up. He carried on. And although I have had the privilege of playing, albeit sporadically, with both Brian Robson and Roy Keane, on a regular basis, I saw what Nicky Butt was all about, and he was definitely the toughest competitor for me.
Dan?
I'd just say briefly, Yap. Yap was a mountain. He still was when I watched the game recently as well. But Yap was just someone who was like Terminator. I remember him playing against Zamorano, and Zamorano sort of walked back into him, and he just stood there and looked at him. And I just thought, yeah, he's a machine. But yeah, in every way, shape, or form, he had a little spell when I was in the resis where he came back from his Achilles and he trained with us for a month. And I'll be honest, I was thinking, what do I do? Like, I was up against him every day. I was thinking, what do I do? I can't beat him for pace. I can't beat him for strength. You know, if you shift the ball, he just put his arm across you. Couldn't beat him in the air. I remember I literally had a few weeks of, how do you beat him? And then, but what it did do was help me a lot when we went to play the games, because when you played against that standard of player, you know, you've got a lot of questions to sort of, that you're asking of yourself. So you play against other people, it become a bit easier. But for him, he was a beast, and he had that no emotion on his face as well that always helps. So Yap for me.
Yap actually got me in a headlock once on the back of the bus.
Why? On a bus?
I was taking the mick out of him as usual, as I take the mick out of everybody. And he just snapped, and he got me in a headlock. And honest to God, I must have tapped out about 25 times. I don't think he understood what it was. Honest. Just like that. Yeah. Horrible. Beast.
Well, listen, guys, we're actually almost out of time. So we were going to do a quiz today. We're going to save it probably for tomorrow. So just still think, have a little think, make sure you're in the mood. You're in the mood.
What's the questions?
Well, they're about United. You should be all right. But two things I want to just mention. You've still got time to vote for the Match Rewind vote, which is going to be the actual game going to be shown at 7 o'clock tonight. City 2, United 3 is winning at the moment. So you've still got time to vote for that on the Manchester United app. And also, we hope to have a special guest. We're supposed to have a special guest with us tomorrow on the show. A United legend. So we do hope to have a special guest for us. There is some talk of Rio Ferdinand if technology is on our side. But yeah, apparently, yeah. So that's a possibility as well. So thank you very much for joining us. Thanks, guys. Sorry about. I mean, if anybody knows where Wes is, or just give him a shout. We'll see. Hopefully, Wes will be back tomorrow. We'll probably have a special guest. We'll have a quiz and more, and keep those comments coming in as well on what you think of these guys in particular. So thanks for joining us. And again, stay at home, stay safe, and protect the NHS. And we'll see you again very, very soon. Bye for now.